Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Hey, baby. Blow my smoke out. She doesn't smoke. Secondhand smoke. It doesn't count if you're shotgunning it, I suppose. It doesn't work on the medical records that work for your insurance. Are you a smoker? No. We find an awful lot of nicotine in your system. My husband kisses me a lot.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot happening. I'm going to get some nicotine.
This right up here, the nicotine stains that grow under there, I'm not telling her. She already knows.
Are stains?
No. They're not stains, but there's tar that gets on my lip. Oh. And every once in a while when I feel like I need a cigarette and I don't have time to have one, you can't even see my tongue. I got a little tongue. But I just lick it up there and I can just taste the nicotine. And so she kisses me and she's getting nicotine kisses.
Maybe
nicotine is not
issue.
Poisonous.
Maybe that's my issue. I'm Jones and during the day, so I'm not kissing you.
We got to get a job someplace together. You should get me a job where you work.
Membership and wellness band that understands
we should get me a job where you work. We can work the desk together and we can kiss each other all day long. You'll never have to go out for a cigarette. And you can cover for me when I'm out smoking. Nicotine isn't carcinogenic. It's the burning vegetable matter. So if she's getting it that way, even the chew you get, you say, well, how does that explain jaw cancer and everything? It's the shit they put in there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The chemicals. This is a natural American Spirit cigarette. No stems, no seeds that you don't need. It's ingredients are on it. What? Tobacco, water, and sunshine, or love, or something. I knew there was something I was supposed to do. Alexa, volume 4. I just wanted you to hear that song. Our house is very, very, very... 2 cats in the yard. We got Siete and we got Gabby here.
Life used to be so hard.
But now they attack each other instead of us. Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Warren and I...
Go ahead, you first.
Go ahead. No, you first, please. Go ahead, because I can remember this. He's very...
No, just of course, you know, he's obviously very popular or famous in Michigan because of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Especially in Gaylord, because many people we knew, the parents of, had died. Fathers had died on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Very special.
Yeah, there were many orphan kids, even in Gaylord.
Michigan. Yeah, it was
heartbreaking.
It was very sad. So obviously he's...
I'm sure Kid Rock did a copy, stole some of this for a song of his, right? Anyway.
Well,
you know Warren and I from our podcast, Bullshitting and Demitting.
Yes! Oh,
Warren and I went and saw, we got a podcast. There are like 6 episodes out, I think.
It's really good. It's very, very good.
You think I like watching myself watch me fucking with a couple of people and finding out I'm wrong. It's a good time. It really is.
Learned a lot.
We learned that, well, I'm not going to tell you what we learned. That'll have to be on the podcast because John would have, or Don Gotti, whatever his name is, would have to be able to speak for himself. And Don Juan.
That's the Rose.
Well, yeah. Warren and I went and saw Gordon Lightfoot at the Interlochen Arts Academy.
You did?
Yep. He invited me. This was back in when I was his neighbor.
I've been there a few times. There's some good stuff there, and it's great. It's a small venue, so
you have to go in.
You are right there. You're
show up on time. You can't come in between breaks.
Yeah, no.
They keep you out until he takes a break, and then everybody can go out and come in. Nobody leaves. And you have to walk very far away to smoke. But we went and saw some Gordon Lightfoot.
It's a classy place.
It really is.
It is.
And they let me in. Oh, and my cousin is like
And
the
they let me
psychology
in.
counselor, works for them.
Oh, that's
My
right.
cousin works, has a very good job there.
Yes, yes.
He used to listen to my show when I was on the Dawn of Betrayal out in San Jose. They started live streaming. 90.5 FM KSJS San Jose. Yeah. Ooh.
And our hearts
he
go
would
out to
listen.
the people in San Jose.
Our hearts go out to people in San Jose. Yeah, they. What?
They're going through a hard time right now. They just had a mass shooting. So,
On the east side, isn't that normal? Hell, they quit Cinco de Mayo finally the one year because everybody was beating the shit out of each other too much. It's a rough place. Cops are hard.
sorry.
Didn't hurt, baby.
I did go to Interlaken. You know what? They have fantastic concerts there. And I did go and see the Nutcracker Ballet
I'm sure it was very good.
at Christmas.
Not just a bunch of kids doing, maybe even
Well,
the
I
kids doing it, but they
in
are
ballet
kids
at that
from
time,
all
so
over
it
the
was
world
just-
go
I
to
was
that place.
Engulfed in it. I just was, I was a little kid.
Right outside of Gaylord, the
maybe
engulfed
11,
Mecca.
10, 11, I just, I was going to be a ballerina.
It was like an acid trip, huh?
Yeah.
Like just
well, I was
magical.
going to be a ballerina when I grew up, so I was like, yeah, maybe 10, 11.
I was going to be a game
12,
show host.
But it was just so beautiful, the legs, and, they were just, it was so, just a painting, a moving painting. It's beautiful. But a very small venue. You're right there. You're right in front. Every seat's a good seat.
Well, there, my cousin, he told me that when he was at Central on his bachelor's degree, while he was there, he told me when I saw him once back in Gaylord, he said, yeah, my friends and I, my roommates, we listen to your show every morning. It would be 6 to 10 in San Jose, so it would be 9 to 12, 9 to 1, whatever it is, in Michigan at the time. So once I found out that you may say that I'm a warrior, but I'm not the only one. There are many here amongst us who would be happier with the gun. Second Amendment. The Polacks burying daughters in the field.
This is a terrible thought, and I never thought about it until you brought it up. I hate that you bring things to my attention that I can't forget it, and I'm totally changed.
You know what that tells us? We all come from serial killers.
I'm woke.
Enlightened, baby. You don't have enough money to be woke. We will, though. You can buy a shirt. Oh, watch your boots, baby. Not yet, not yet. Oh, sorry. Anyway, we were talking. But yeah, he told me that they'd listen every morning, and his one buddy was a big metal fan, so they could stand the music too. I was introducing many of them to things they never heard. But he's like, yeah, we just listen to it when we're getting ready and, just drinking, whatever. And I realized I had to quit talking. It stifled me. I never did quit talking about my family, but out there in San Jose, it was so free and easy. Nobody could hear me back home.
Yeah,
I'm just telling stories.
You're
I
just
was very
free to be yourself.
uncensored in any way, in a clean way. This stuff would never get back to Gaylord, Michigan, and Joe Berg and the family. But then here my cousin finds out with technology that he can listen to me, and I'm like,
So many smart people in your family.
I don't know where they get it. So yeah, the thing is, we're sitting out here and we're working in the yard. Just between the two of us, we mowed the lawn over the last 2 days.
You did the majority of it. Just a small bit of it.
You did exactly what I didn't want to do, and that was anymore.
It's a big yard. It's a lot.
That's fucking teamwork.
It is. It's a big yard. It's so beautiful.
So then
I'm so happy to have it.
picking dandelions
Yeah.
and wearing tight spots, and I couldn't get in with it redondo pala punta. I think that's Spanish. I read it on a shovel once, round pointed shovel, which I usually use, and I've perfected this long ago, but I had used the ice scraper this time. We're getting dandelions up. I'm talking about the things that we learned that nobody ever teaches us. And it's amazing that if you work at something hard enough and you really do have that damn gusto, you hate the fucking thing. I don't mind dandelions, but they don't belong in some places.
Oh, dandelions, you can do
They're very
so
good.
many good things with
But when
dandelions. Salve and wine and detox tea.
At least once a year, we need to clean up
But,
around the places
you
that
know,
we grow flowers.
Yeah, they don't need to be everywhere. They
And
don't need
so-
to be everywhere.
What you do, you take and the dandelion's looking at you that way, and you go, ah, and you stick it on a perpendicular to its whole thing, and you stick it deep. It's easier with a pala punta, a redondo, with a shovel, but I couldn't get in there. You do it that way first, and then you turn it and you get close and you do that, get deep, and then you just peel it back, use it as a lever. And when you can hear that, you're getting down right. When you can hear the dandelion down there,
Noise. There's a feel.
it goes,
There's a feel. You can feel it.
and then you go, I got it. You've broken its anchors.
But before you do anything, you should totally wet the ground. Wet the ground.
Well,
makes
do it after a rain.
So much easier to get all that stuff up. Otherwise, everything's hard.
It'll still work with a redondo pala punta.
Helpful hint.
It will, but so you peel it,
What's on the
and
agenda
it peels,
for our day?
and you reach into that line you made on
Lang.
a straight out line,
Shanghai translations
perpendicular or whatever you want to call it. You reach down into the ground, and you grab a hold of it by the root. You got to get under the nub. There's a nub at the surface. You got to be sure to get under that because the whole thing pops if you don't get under it. And you just and the whole damn taproot comes up. And I was doing that, and because I had to learn how to do it with my ice scraper today, that's what I call it. It doesn't look as dangerous as the last one I had, so it's not considered a weapon. But this thing comes up, and I realize I have mastered pulling dandelions. You know, I can take anything, and then we talk to Julie, and John, she tells
Julie.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Tells her that I'm peeling dandelions with an ice scraper, and she says, oh, how domestic. John lost his weed puller, so he's using a screwdriver. I'm like, you know, it depends on what it is you're digging. It works. You're the right tool for the job. And so then after that, I started pulling the dandelions, and it's just like I told you before, the compulsive, obsessive order. Once you see something and you can't stop, and you just, if there's an order to it, you're making things better. It's not worrying about anything that's worth worrying about, because all you gotta do is keep doing it and the job will be done.
Right.
There it is. You've cured yourself with the completion. Gestalt, you know. Completion is the answer to all these obsessive fucking thought processes that people go through. Do something with your life. Scuba diver, psychologist, whatever, the president of the Colombian Squires, Chief Squire.
I have ADD, so I have a hard time completing anything.
I don't know if I have it or
So
not,
there's
because I
so
smoke
many
constantly.
exciting things all around me, and
Too many things to
there's
do.
Just so many
Too
shiny
many
things.
choices.
Everything's shiny. So I I have lots of exciting projects going on all the time.
So I found
Makes
it
it more
exciting.
fun.
Yes.
I don't see the problem.
Generally,
I
I
don't
just
see the problem in it.
this is the guilt that I go through. The guilt that I could go through, but I push aside. I sit there and I watch her doing all these things, and I just sit here. Today I got up. We had a day to do things. And they're realizing this is little Johnny, what's the moral of the story? Don't fuck with my dad when he's drunk. This is the moral of the story. This is, I was just like, wow. This is, the way I pull weeds, I told her right away too, I said, I'm sure 1 million and 2 billion people in the world do it this way, but nobody ever taught me.
Right.
And I learned it. And if nobody's teaching this, I wanted to share it. That's how you get the dandelion up. Straight in. Ha, ha, peel, and reach down that line. You hear it go.
You have to wiggle.
Oh, they're down there. There's a tap rope.
Yeah, all the way to the bottom. And you can tell if you're forcing it. If you're forcing it, it's going to pop. You're going to break it, and it's going to come back. You have to become one with the root.
Look at that tap. It goes down
on that,
deep.
Bitch.
Yeah. How do you meditate? What is it? Rise up and how's that go? So they go deep. And that fucker's going to come back. But I've never gotten one that I got out right that came back the next year. And at the same time, I've pulled up some in my dad's yard that were that big around. That it's like, this thing is like a tree in the ground. It's a 50-year damn dandelion. And after realizing that, I looked at her and I said, you got me in this compulsive, obsessive order thing. I said, I'm not going to be able to stop. And we put the calla lilies in the ground in cans like this last year. I thought I missed it, but it turned out I didn't. Coffee cans. We got coffee cans. Oh, Aiden decided he wanted to paint on that one. But I had all these cultivars from a calla lily I started by mistake in my sun tea jar. I'll tell you about that one day. Hey, I can't get up. It's got wigglers in it now. Nothing's in it. But I've been growing this thing and keeping the cultivars, the bulbs, every fall, and I plant them and get them ready, and I put them out. I keep it in a sun tea jar so I can move it in and out of the house on nights it's about to freeze. And from this one that I bought by mistake when I was looking for a sunflower to grow in the sun tea jar, because I had an idea how you could keep good water flow going through and still just dump it on it, the sun tea jar. I gotta show them. Can you hand me the sun tea jar, baby?
Of course. Do you mind opening my jar?
Not at all.
You want me to hand it to you?
Yes, please. It's full of water. I was collecting rainwater. Oh.
Grossness.
Oh. I didn't clean it up after last year's.
Burpee.
But when I found a broken up sun tea jar in the recycle in Kalamazoo, in the recycle bin, it was cracked. And I said, you know what? I said, that's good for something. And I had a flash. I said, I could grow something. And that's why I went to get the sunflowers, and that's why calla lilies were there. They were especially cheap because they were way out of season. And I looked, I said, I've never heard of that in my life. I've never seen that. That's kind of pretty. And so I bought it. I thought it was going to turn red, and they ended up turning a golden, vibrant yellow. And I kept them through the years. And the thing is, I put soil in there from the ground under the detritus out back of the house, so it was good and rich. And, you know, just years where nobody ever cleaned it up because, well, you know, it's a rental. Who's going to do work on a rental other than me? And I put it in there, and I put that thing in there, and I would take it in and out. And the thing is about this, it's got water in it now, rainwater, wigglers. I put some vegetable oil to see if that would keep them from, you know, but look, here, the thing about it is you can just saturate the soil that you've got it in. Watch your leg, baby. And you just turn it like that. Oh! If it's got too much, it pours out. I keep it open on rain nights, so it just pours through. And then on the days when it's getting dry, I close it back. I keep it open, it pours out, and then I close it. And it holds all the moisture down in there, and it's got to come up through the surface, so it's always hitting the root system. The plant is in a perfect state. And so I grew it, and it was a fantastic thing. It was something I was very happy about. But I kept it through the years, and last year we took the, at the same time, I decided to take some of the cultivars. You break them up and you can plant many. Through the years, a couple, 3 years, I was building up a bunch of stuff you could break up. And so I grew some in the ground outside in front of the house. And I left them in the ground because it says you need to dig them up in the fall. You can't let them freeze. And you bring them in, and there's a specific way. You keep them moist in a cool, dry place. And I did all that, and I was able to make them come back. It works. But I left a couple the 1 year in the ground to see if I'd be able to, if they'd come back. Because I don't trust everything I see on the internet. And I put sticks. You know, there are a lot of smart people that say a lot of smart people are as stupid as they are. Who do you believe? Who's dumber, smarter? Who's what? Who can you trust? You have to ask your priest in the confessional. See what he has to say. Honest, Father, who can we trust? And he go, wow, you're in a confessional. You can't lie to me, motherfucker.
You know, the head just kept popping up.
They just hit it 3 times, and it just kept coming up. Isidore's secret. Read the book. Don't wait for the movie. Read the book. Pueblo, Colorado. So the thing is, they made a movie with Dick Van Dyke in it about that.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was just gonna say, you know, you don't add to if you know. You never, you don't ask questions. Don't, you know. If
I just keep going.
He'll just.
We are on track.
You gotta wrap it up. You gotta wrap it up. So, but I can't help it because, like, he'll say something and then I can't help myself. So
we're in no hurry.
As Sean would say, I pre-apologize for what I'm about to do, but it's just so interesting.
Which almost makes it okay for you to do it if you apologize ahead of time. Exactly. He's got it all worked out.
Yeah, he's got it all worked out. He thought about it.
And if you don't think about it, you think, what a nice guy. He got me ready for what's about to happen.
Yeah, I was
and he's sitting there stone cold sober all the time.
Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's cool.
He was very polite.
Very polite.
I never saw him do anything that seemed like it would be offensive.
He was like, exactly. Like, but you're the last person.
Maybe by apologizing ahead of time, it's in the back of his mind to cut it out.
You're waiting for something really bad to happen.
Maybe he's cutting it out for himself.
Really super bad ever happened, so it's like, okay, where, yeah.
So who do we not talk to and distract from the...
I don't even remember the point.
Anyway,
you have
so
to get the tap
the thing is, no, it's about the calla lilies now.
Oh, that's right.
Because we started with the taproot and we're moving to the callies and the cultivars, and we're teaching you something that
it was so beautiful.
Nobody ever taught me. And if people don't teach you, I want to be one to share, because you will like this. It really, it's information. So I left them in the ground over the winter that 1 year.
Yes. And
put sticks right where they were. I knew where they were. I got mad at the garbage guy once because he threw the garbage can after he was done with it and broke one of my sticks. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You know, these guys,
He's made changes in the garbage industry, just so you know.
I sent an email.
He sent some emails and made some things happen.
That was so eloquent and vicious. Nobody knew whether this was
We'll take your garbage out and you will pick it up.
And you Will
all
not.
on the same day, and you'll take your shit back up to the house.
Like
when
it
it's done.
says, it's
like
a
it says you're
city
supposed
thing.
to.
I'm sick of looking up
Tired
that
of looking
beautiful
at it while I'm
street
drinking
and
my
seeing
beer,
trash
smoking
cans.
my cigarettes.
It's not my fault you moved onto a house that's down
Why?
43 fucking
Why you gotta let all
concrete
your
steps.
shit out all the time? Come on.
You leave it out all week?
All
I'm sitting
week.
there going, I
How
got
do you fill it up?
warned by the city that if, I mean, not personally, but in the neighborhood weekly, you don't take your shit up, you're getting fined. And so I said, you know what? I'm embarrassed by this place when people come to visit me. So yeah, anyway, I change things.
Yes,
I make things up.
I have the picture. This should be the thumbnail.
I was,
He was like,
yes. Looking down the
Looking
street,
down
an
the
empty street.
nothing there.
I told him, I said, you want to make a bunch of money in fees for the city?
Yeah.
You come down this street on Wednesday, whichever day it was after, like 24 hours. I said, you go down there and you find every single one of these people with their trash can. It was very eloquent.
It was.
I said, this is going to make you some money.
Beautiful.
And it worked. It fucking
Short,
worked.
sweet,
First
to
try.
the point.
I wrote a letter to the president once. Remember, I did a video about that. I don't write letters all the time, but if it means something,
the army.
I changed the army. I
Changed the manual.
changed the PMCS manual for the high mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle. I changed the order they did it because it was just totally unsound.
The welcome
Pot in the wall.
We
For a
don't plan
lead
this.
roll in a cage. No, I'll fucking
this
break
is
the
planned.
bars of this golden cage. I'm
Millennials?
changing everything. Yeah. I sent a letter and got the key on my way out. Millennials Golden Cage, whatever her name is. So, the thing is, I left them in the ground. And the next year I kept waiting while the others that I'd repotted, planted, and were growing and giving away to people because they're beautiful. And they are mine. It's mine to give away. I kept watching them and they never came up. So after enough time that nothing was happening, I decided I have to see what happened down there now. So I dug down around widely and pulled up. There's souls swimming in a fishbowl. Year after year. Running over the same old ground. How we found the same old fears. Siete is here.
Come here, baby.
Gabby's down here. Two cats in the yard. They're right there. So I dug it up wide and I peeled the soil apart and I found this crumbled, rotted thing because it froze in the soil all the winter, just like they said it would. And I said, well, now I know that. And then we moved in here last year. I had all my things. I brought them with me and put them in these coffee cans and painted them. So we had them growing all over and we had flowers. It's the first time in a few years that I had actual flowers. And it's because this is a place of love and life.
Several of them bloomed.
Yes, and they bloomed crazy.
Like,
and we got
lots of them. Like, there was like
seed
9.
pods.
There was like 9 of them.
And I saved the seed pods and I didn't treat them right over the year. And so we planted those, put them in some soil out here. They're just not doing anything. And I was so sad because last year I was lazy and I left them out way too long.
But they were dollar store like planters.
What?
I happen to be there. Well, I mean,
Oh,
there
that's
could be
nothing.
There could be chemicals.
No, it's crap.
There
It's
could
crap.
be chemicals.
It's because I
Just
didn't do it
saying.
right.
You know, well, I
left them out there
feel
before
that
and they
we owe
died.
it to our viewers, you know, full disclosure.
Stay away from dollar store.
I happen to be in the dollar store the 2 times a year that I'm in the dollar store, and I'm like, oh, planters. I'll grab a couple little pots, and then we put the.
But I didn't even
seeds
pull
in
the
there,
seed
no,
pod
they're
out
growing.
last year and separate the seeds. It was
I
still in
blame it
there.
on
They
the
were all
dollar
dried,
store.
but they didn't do anything.
Their evil thing in the world.
But so the thing is, we put some of these on top. Alexa, skip.
Sorry.
You don't be sorry. I don't know who you're talking to, but I was doing the same thing.
Ah. You know,
Again?
you know, I'm torn because my mom really liked Bob Seger back. That was, Alexa.
Oh, wait.
No, wait. Never
Continue.
mind. Continue. I like this song.
Wait, okay.
Okay.
Real too tall.
Alexa, continue.
Could have used a few pounds.
Continue.
Knock that bitch down to the ground. She had something in black eyes and a...
What's got heavy? Backseat my 67.
Okay, enough. Alexa,
Okay, yeah.
skip.
Alexa, skip. Alexa, skip.
Chomps made snacks are delicious.
Alexa,
Healthy,
pause.
protein-packed, and perfect to grab on the go.
Alexa, volume 2.
Very good. Alexa.
Chomps are made with 100% grass.
Oh, we can't do that during a commercial.
Yeah, just
So the
go.
thing is, we put some in here, and they sat above ground, but I also took some with the cultivars, and we put them alongside the house, dug holes, put them in these, and I poked holes in the bottom so that we could dump water in them
Proper
and it
drainage,
would
you know.
drain.
Yeah.
And when it came time to pull them back up in the fall,
Yeah.
these would just come
you
right
know,
out of the ground.
just-
And I could take them and do what I needed
So
to do.
simple.
It's got soil, it's got, you know, I just, nobody teaches us these things.
It just
I made
made
it
sense
up.
to us.
It made
It made sense to him.
And so we had some of the ground. And I forgot to take all of them in this past year. And I started digging it.
You know, life happens. You get so busy.
No, I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I kept looking. I thought it could take a couple of freezes before it would kill it. And then I just left them all together. But since all these weren't showing any sign of anything that were on top, I didn't even want to look at those that were in the ground. I was like,
it was heartbreaking.
I was sad. It'd been years of me, generations of this original cheap plant that I bought that is so beautiful. And I let it die altogether when I got, and everything lives here.
I just was waiting, and I just was so focused because I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to know. I was just getting all the. We have this beautiful rose bush, Don Juan. He's a climbing rose bush, so I try to keep the morning glories because I tried so hard to make a morning glory grow here. Because they're such a pretty thing. And I told my dad, I'm like, I plant, you know, the morning glory. There's morning glories. He's like, oh, they're a weed.
She couldn't get them to grow. I find them beautiful. I love the way they
couldn't get them to grow. Well, they've taken over. I
moved in here. They know I love.
It's me against them. It's me against them. I want them like in a certain part, but not around my Don Juan.
Out weeding this stuff around there.
I'm weeding. I'm getting them all out.
And she's trying to pull the dandelions, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'll get that.
And here
I knew I could contain myself. Just the dandelions.
And
those pops that are there, they're just dead.
They're all right there. And
there's all these leaves
look.
in them.
Just
don't even want
to
look at it. All these leaves and crap, old weeds in there. And I was pulling finished doing the dandelions and trees. We pulled trees too. And I just couldn't stop myself. I had to pull a weed out of one of those little containers like this. That was still in the ground, and I saw something under it and cleared it off. I pulled it up out of the ground, and this is what you've got. These things that are not supposed to be come back. They're growing all along there, those things that I put so it would be simpler. And I said, and we just learned something else that we weren't taught, that we want to share with you. She's the one that realized it. It wasn't just that it was in the ground. I didn't think they'd come back at all because it was a cold, dark winter too.
Sad.
It was not going to survive a light winter.
It's not going to happen.
But those above the ground didn't come back with the plastic around them. It's not enough to have the plastic, but in the ground with the soil around it, evidently, the plastic acted like a beer cooler. It insulated enough to keep it from freezing solid right to the core of the calla lily cultivar that was left from the last one. And we got it, baby. They're all... So if you want to leave them in there, and you can take them out, and you can, at the end of the year, that's the thing, you can take them out and get the old cultivar out. But if you forget because you're lazy, you don't forget, you just don't feel like doing it, they might come back. We have found something that is not supposed to happen in calla lily history because we made something up. In a way, when we live together, love comes from us. It came back because it felt love.
We should give Julie and John, Patchouli, Julie and John. We should give Patchouli, Julie and John.
We'll give them one of these. Let them put it right into their ground at home. They'll take care of it.
Oh, they would.
They're nice people. We met them at the Antique Fest. Where you got
your
haunted
lover.
Well, I got my chaps. We got a haunted dressmaker's mannequin that we left in the attic when I moved, and they still are. It exposes my butt, and I don't know what kind of man's supposed to have his butt exposed during sex. You just open the front of your pants.
It's a nice butt.
It's a little boy's butt. I got to start running again. I'm going to start working out for you guys too. She says I'm getting fat. So
I've never said that.
No, really, I just want to share with you my workout plan.
Not true.
I work out about 2-3 months every 4 years, and I get bigger, and then I just let it settle back in. You don't want to stretch the skin out, but as I'm getting older, my skin's starting to get a little bit, you know, like it will, because you shrink a little bit. It's going to start getting a bit saggy, so this is the time when I need to start working out and get bigger, just a little bit bigger every year. When I'm 100 years old, I'll be like Arnold Schwarzenegger and winning the Mr. Universe pageant, whereas he went backwards. And just, you know, if you're too big and you get small, then you got a lot of slack. I'm gonna get big in front of you. That's a different video. Don't publish. Don't publish.